before we start, pray to the Lord so that you can understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita and you can experience the essence of Bhagavad Gita.
Entonces, antes de empezar, vamos a reza al Señor en tu corazón para captar, para que te llegue la esencia del Bhagavad Gita.
Because if you listen to this Bhagavad Gita with full faith, then just by listening to Bhagavad Gita, you are going to gain self-knowledge. You are going to get liberation from this ignorance.
Porque solo escuchando el Gita con plena fe, solo recibiéndolo con plena apertura y fe, recibes liberación de ignorancia.
Because at the end of Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna had already delivered his speech, he had said to Arjuna thus, that Shraddhavanto asuyanto shinuyo dapi yo nara sa sopi mukta iman loke sopi mukta iman loke prapnuyam punya karmanam. That is, if a person listens to our conversation, what we have discussed, Arjuna and Krishna, if a person can listen to this conversation with full faith and without any, without criticizing, then he becomes liberated in this life. And not only that, he also receives all the good results of his actions.
Porque en el último capítulo del Gita, cuando Krishna habla con Arjuna, le dice, si solo una persona puede escuchar nuestra conversación, la conversación que ha acontecido, con plena fe y sin criticarla, sin crítica, no solo es liberado, puede ser liberado y es liberado de esta vida, sino que también recibe todos los resultados, los buenos resultados de sus acciones.
Okay, so we start from here. Arjun Uvacha. Now Arjun is saying, after he saw all these people, all his own people, his grandfather, his father, his uncle, his brothers, his sons, his grandsons, his friends, his well-wishers, his in-laws, when he saw them in the opposite camp, waiting for this battle, and he was aware that if the battle happens, then he has to kill them. So, by being aware of this fact that he is going to kill people whom he loves, people whom he cares, and when he became aware of this fact, he became to tremble, he became to fluctuate. His body started to shake, his hands started to tremble, and this is what Arjuna is speaking now.
Entonces, estamos en el momento que él está delante, Arjuna dice Arjuna Uvacha, Arjuna dice, ve a toda su gente, sus amigos en ley, sus tíos, sus maestros, sus abuelos, sus bisabuelos, en el campo opuesto, a punto de empezar la batalla. Y se da cuenta que cuando la batalla empiece, tiene que matarles, tiene que matar a la gente que ama. Está enfrente de ellos y se da cuenta que va a matarles. Entonces todo su cuerpo empieza a temblar, él fluctúa, su cuerpo tiembla, se zambalea, eso es lo que le empieza a ocurrir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so can we start?
Yes.
Arjun Uvacha. Arjun says, Drishtavevam Swajanam Krishna Yuyutsum Samupastitam Sidanti Mama Gatrani Mukham cha Parishushati Bepatyuscha Sharire me Roma Harshascha Jayate Gandivam Sangshate Hastat Twakachaiva Paridajyate. So what is Arjun saying? He's saying that, oh Krishna, after seeing these people whom I love, who is my relatives, they are standing in the opposite camp to fight with me. When I see them, then my body has started to become nervous. My whole body has started to become nervous. My hands are trembling and the bow the bow of Arjuna was Gandhi. The name of the bow of Arjuna is Gandhi. So my Gandhi has started to fall down from my hands. I cannot hold this Gandhi, and my skin feels like it's burning. I'm feeling burning sensation in my skin. Okay.
Entonces Arjuna dice, oh Krishna, después de estar viendo toda esta gente, todos mis amados, todos mis familiares en el campo de batalla, listos para la lucha, mi cuerpo se ha puesto nervioso, mis manos están temblando, mis armas se caen de las manos y mi piel está ardiendo. Okay.
न च शक्नोहम अवस्थातुम भ्रमतीव च मे मनः निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव. He said, I cannot stand now. It's difficult for me to stand because my mind is moving. My mind is moving, and that is why I cannot stand. And I cannot see anything good which will come out of this war. Oh Keshav, oh Krishna, I cannot see anything which is good, which is going to happen after, which is good to happen as the outcome of this war.
Entonces le dice, oh Krishna, yo no puedo moverme, no puedo ni siquiera estar de pie. Mi mente no para de moverse, no puedo ver nada bueno, no puedo ver que después de esta batalla venga a venir nada bueno.
न च श्रेयो अनुपश्यामि हत्वा सजनम आहवे न कांक्षे विजयम कृष्ण न च राज्यम सुखानि च. He says that I don't see anything good which will be coming out of this battle. We are fighting this battle to restore dharma. We are fighting this battle to restore the truth. But I don't see anything good which is going to come, because the people with whom I am going to fight are my own people. They are not my enemies. They are my own people. So I don't see anything good which is coming out of this. And then he says that I don't want to fight. I don't want na kangshe vijayam Krishna na cha rajyam sukhani cha. Oh Krishna, I don't want victory. Neither do I want to enjoy the kingdom, the happiness of being a king. King no rajyena govinda, king bhoge jivitena va. And what will happen with kingdom or with enjoyment if I don't have my own people with me? So I don't want to fight.
Entonces Arjuna dice, no veo nada bueno que tenga que venir después de esta batalla. Luchamos en esta batalla para restaurar la verdad, para restaurar el Dharma, pero no veo nada bueno que vaya a venir después de esto. La gente con la que voy a luchar es mi gente, es la gente que amo. ¿Cómo va a venir bueno después de esto? No quiero luchar. Oh Krishna, no quiero la victoria, no quiero disfrutar de un reino, ni disfrutar de la felicidad de ser rey después de esto. ¿Y qué pasará con el reino?
Okay.
¿Y qué pasará con el reino? ¿Y cómo voy a disfrutar si no tengo a toda esta gente conmigo? Oh Krishna, yo no quiero luchar. Okay.
Yeshamarthe kangshitam no rajyam bhoga sukhani cha ta imeva sthita yuddhe pranans taktva dhanani cha. He says that those people with whom I want to enjoy the happiness of kingdom, I want to enjoy my life, these are the people who are standing against me to fight by keeping their life and their happiness at stake.
Dice, esa gente con la que yo quiero disfrutar de la felicidad, de mi vida y del reino, justo esa gente es la que está opuesta a mí. Sus vidas y su felicidad es lo que está opuesto a mí.
Okay. Acharya, Pitara, Putra, Tathaiva cha Pitamaha, Matula, Shashura, Potra, Shyala, Sambandhinas Tatha. He says, Acharya, my teachers, Pitara, my fathers, that is my father, my uncles, and Putras Tathaiva, and all my sons, cha Pitamaha, and my grandfather. These are the people who are standing against me. Matula, my maternal uncle, Swashura, my in-laws, Potra, my grandson, Shyala, my brother-in-law, and Sambandinastada, and all my relatives, they are all these people who are standing against me in this battle, and that is why I don't want to fight.
Dice, mis maestros, mis padres, mis tíos y todos mis hijos y mi abuelo, esa gente es la que está ahí. Mi nieto, mi cuñado y mis familiares, toda esa gente es la que está allí, al otro lado. Yo no quiero luchar.
Okay? Etanna hantumichami ghantopin madhusudana api trailokya rajasa hetu kimnu mahikrite. Well, even if I get killed by these people, I don't want to kill these people, even if they all kill me together. And if I gain the kingdom of these three worlds, that also has no meaning for me, as compared to losing these people.
Dice, y si soy matado por todos ellos, prefiero morir. Si todo lo que quieren es matarme, yo muero. Incluso si yo tuviera todo el reino y todo, yo no lo quiero. Prefiero morir.
Aditi,
Yes.
I'm losing this thing, is it possible that I just continue with this Bhagavad Gita, and then once we finish with this English, then we can start again with Spanish? Is it possible? Because I am losing my rhythm,
You can make a longer space and then I translate. This is very short. You can be little longer and then I translate.
Okay.
You do little longer and stop and then I translate.
Okay. So then he says, Tasman harra vayam hantum dhatrashtam sabandhavan swajanam hi katham hatva sukhi na syam madhava. He said, oh Madhav, oh Krishna, if they kill us or we kill them, what is the result of this? What will be the outcome? Okay, let us consider that we kill them or they kill us. Actually, what is happening, it is only the relatives who are going to kill each other. It is only the family which is going to die. No, nothing else. So actually, with this war, we are killing our own family. We are destroying our own family, our own, this whole family tree. So that is why I don't want to fight. Yaddapete na pashyanti loba apahata chetasa kulakshaya kritam dosham mitra dohe chakpatakam. Even if these people do not see, even if these people, the Kauravas, the Duryodhana, the son of Dhritarashtra, they don't see that what we are all doing, even if they don't see the consequences of what we are all doing, then also we should not fight. We should not fight because we see what is going to happen now. The only thing that is happening now is what? Kulakshaya kritam dosham mitra drohe chapatakam. We are only killing our own family. And with this killing our own family, that means I am destroying my own family and I am destroying my own relatives and friends. And by this, we will all gather tremendous amount of sin. We'll all gather tremendous amount of bad karmas. Katham nageya ashmabhi papad asmin nivartitum ulakshaya kritam dosham prapashadvi janardana. He says, oh Janardhan. Janardhan is also another name of Lord Krishna. He says, oh Janardhan, I cannot see the amount of crime, the amount of sin that we are going to gather by killing our own family members, by destroying our own family members. And I cannot see the way by which we can get through these sins. So it is better that we should not fight. Why? Why we should not fight? He says, Kulakshaya prapashyanti kula dharma sanatanaha. If the family is destroyed, then what happens? With the destruction of the family, the dharma, the works, the activities, the actions that has to be done by the family, the responsibilities, the responsibilities of the family, that is called dharma. So that dharma of the family also is destroyed. Kulakshaye prabhashanti kula dharma sanatana dharme nashte kulam kritsnam adharma abhibhavat yuta. And if the whole, if the whole dharma of one family is destroyed, then there will only prevail adharma, that is, sin, evil. If dharma or nobility of one family is completely destroyed, then only sin, only evils will only, only prevail. So we don't want this. We want a solution. Adharma bhi bhavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriya. Now, if there is evil in the family, if by destruction of dharma, evil prevails in the family, what will happen? Pradushyanti kulastriya. Then the character of the ladies of the families will all be corrupted. So what happens when the character of the ladies of a family is corrupted? Then they, they create new generation which is not from the family. They invite, other family into the family, and thus, the result which is created, the generation which is created by them, they create, other kind of, like other kind of blood, other kind of genes into the family, which is not good. And that is what he's saying. Adharma abhibhavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriya strishu dushtashu varsneya jayate varna shankara. Well, if there is only evil in the family, then the character of the woman in the family becomes corrupted. And if the woman of the family becomes corrupted, then what happens? Then the generation that is produced, in future, they are also of mixed race. We will just lose the purity of our family. The one thing which was very particular about the Aryans was this, that they were very, very sacred about their family, family. They never wanted to, any infringement of any other race into their own race. To maintain the purity of their family, to maintain all this Vedic structure, all this dharma, all this structure of dharma of the family, they always wanted to protect the family from other caste. So that was very particular, very peculiar about this Aryans. So that is what Krishna is saying, that if the woman of the family becomes corrupted, then the race will be destroyed. The purity of the race will be destroyed. And what will happen if the purity of the race is destroyed? Shankaro naraka yeva kulagnana kulassacha. If our race becomes a mixed race by the degradation of our race, of our family, by the degradation of the family, if our race becomes a mixed race, then what will happen? Patanti pitaro yesham lupta pinda udaka kriyaha. Then not only that we will suffer, it's not that, if my family becomes a mixed race, other family, other genes comes into my family, not only do I suffer, also the pitaras, that is my great fathers, my great grandfathers, my fathers who have already died, they are in the heaven. So we perform many kind of rites here on earth. We give water to them in a particular time in the year. We give food to them. We do shraddha. We do many, pinda, udaka. That is, we do this, pinda dan, udaka, and all these things. We do it, as a rite for giving water to our forefathers. So if the race is completely destroyed, if the purity of the race is completely destroyed, then these people, our forefathers, will never, receive the water, food, etc. that we offer to them. And then what will happen? If they don't get food and water from here, then they will also fall down from heaven. Their position also in heaven will be degraded. So what kind of sin that we are doing? This is what Arjuna was saying. Shankaro naraka yeva kulagnana kulassacha patanti pitaro hyesham lupta pinda udaka kriya doshai rete kulagnanam varna shankara karakai utsadante jati dharma kula dharma sanatanaha. He said that see how much evil that we are going to bring into the family, how much destruction that we are going to bring in our race, that our total dharma of this family is destroyed. All the activities that we do, all our traditions, they all are destroyed. So this war is not good for us, and we should not fight this battle. We should resign from here. We should retreat. Utsanna kuladharmanam manushyanam janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavati iti anushushvama. I have heard that if a person, if the family has gone, if the family has been degraded, then what happens? Not only that their forefathers go into hell, the people of this family also they go into hell. So we are all going to hell. We are not going to heaven. We are not getting anything good from here. So what we are doing, this work of fighting this battle will bring hell to us, sufferings to us, and we don't want to suffer. Aho vata mahat papam kattum.
Just
Okay.
a moment, please.
Okay.
Yes. Dice, oh, Yadaman es otro nombre de Krishna. Ok. No recuerdo dónde nos habíamos quedado. Perdón, ¿eh? Me parece que estábamos en que no quería morir. Dice, oh madre, oh Krishna, voy a matar a todos mis familiares y los mato a ellos, destruyo todo lo que amo. Estamos aquí, ¿verdad? Si esta gente, los hijos de Duryodhana, los hijos de Dhritarashtra, si no ven todo lo que vamos a hacer, si no ven que estamos causando una destrucción, si no ven que nos estamos matando entre nosotros, estamos matando nuestro árbol familiar, estamos destruyendo nuestro árbol familiar. Si ellos no lo ven, yo sí que lo estoy viendo. Y eso no puede suceder, porque si nos matamos, estamos matando a nuestra propia familia y eso va a ser un tremendo bad karma, va a ser un tremendo mal karma. Oh Krishna, no puedo ver otra cosa que pecado en lo que estamos haciendo, porque si matamos nuestra propia familia, no va a quedar nada. Si la familia es destruida, las acciones que esa familia hace, los trabajos, los dharmas que la misma familia tiene que hacer, a la familia quedar destruida, también no se van a poder hacer. Es decir, no va a haber una consecuencia buena, todo nuestro dharma se va a destruir, no va a venir nada bueno. Y si no viene el dharma para la familia, solo va a prevalecer el adharma, el pecado, la no buena acción. Entonces no queremos esto. ¿Cuál es la solución? Queremos una solución. Si detendemos nuestro dharma, si detendemos nuestras buenas acciones, el carácter de la familia se va a corromper, porque las próximas mujeres, las próximas chicas de la familia van a tener que asociarse va a ser una generación que se va a tener que asociar con otras familias, va a ser una generación que va a perder la sangre, la información de las tradiciones arias, de las tradiciones védicas, de pureza en la familia, de dharma, del buen hacer, y no quedará nada bueno de eso, porque se va a perder la pureza, la estructura védica, la información para el buen hacer. Y la familia va a quedar muy desprotegida. Entonces dice que esto era muy importante para los arios, mantener esta pureza en la familia. Toda esta información en la casta, en la información de la estructura de la familia. Y claro, si esto se rompe, la información se rompe y también las mujeres jóvenes no se asocian con esto. Dice, si la familia es mixta, se va a degradar la familia y vamos a sufrir y vamos a tener muchos obstáculos, porque una de las cosas, por ejemplo, es que se van a dejar de hacer los rituales de ofrenda de agua y de comida a los ancestros. Y si esto se deja de hacer, nuestros ancestros en el cielo van a decaer energéticamente, porque hay toda una ciencia ritual en los Vedas de esto. Dice, si esto no se hace, van a caer energéticamente nuestros ancestros del cielo, y ellos cayendo energéticamente vamos a caer todo, va a caer el resto de la familia. Así que esto solo trae maldad y destrucción. No quiero esta guerra, no veo nada bueno en esta guerra, quiero parar con esto. Estoy herido, la familia va a ir degradada. Si nuestros ancestros caen, todo el resto de la familia va a caer. Solo si luchamos en nuestra batalla, solo vendrán para nosotros qué sufrimientos. Ok, Swamiji.
Okay, I think I can also speak in Spanish. If means we have already come very close to finishing this first chapter. This first chapter is all about the how Arjuna has reacted in grief. Okay, ahora nosotros muchas cerca de completamente de primera chapter de Bhagavad Gita. En es primera chapter.
Capítulo.
Solo,
Capítulo, chapter is capítulo.
Capítulo, en es primera capítulo. Solo triste de Arjuna. Arjuna muy triste. Porque cuando él venir para what was war?
Guerra.
Cuando él venir para guerra, y él no sabes persona en otra campo, es persona el padre y el hermano, el hijo. Cuando él ver todo la gente en opósito campo, todo es familia, todo el familia. Arjuna completamente triste y llorando, porque yo quiero hiera, porque yo quiero hiera, no quiero hiera, porque es no bien para todos. Primera capítulo solo es, ¿ok? Desde segundo capítulo, the real Bhagavad Gita abread. Okay, so we have now nosotros ahora tengo tres slokas, tres verses. Después nosotros second chapter, okay, segundo capítulo. ¿Entiendes?
Yes.
¿Entiendes? ¿Todo entiendes? Yo Spanish. Did everybody understand what I said? Huh?
Super.
Thank you.
Andrea says
So,
super.
so these are the things. Arjuna was completely deluded. What to do? He was completely deluded, and that is why he was saying that, you see, we are just going to kill our own family. We are just going to destroy our own family, and by destroying our own family, the whole tradition of our Vedic tradition is going to destroy. And in this destruction of our Vedic tradition, it is not that we are the only sufferers. Our forefathers are also going to suffer. Our generation who is going to come is also going to suffer, because we will be producing mixed race, and as we produce mixed race, the purity of our own race, the purity of our own karmas, the purity of our own responsibilities, own dharma is just gone. So that is why he was like, completely deluded that what to do, because this war is going to kill everybody, and this war is going to destroy everything which is good in our family. Okay, and that is why he says, Aho vata mahat papam kartum vyavasita vayam. Oh, what kind of crime we are doing. Oh, I don't know. Oh, muchas mal trabajo yo haciendo. Ah, yad rajya sukhalovena hantum swajanam uddataha. Only to enjoy this kingdom, only to enjoy one small kingdom, we are here to kill our own people. Para disfrutar una pequeño lugar, una pequeño, what is a kingdom?
Reino.
Reino. Para disfrutar una pequeño reino, nosotros destroy completamente nosotros familia. ¿Qué mal trabajo nosotros haciendo? Okay, understand?
Yes. Swamiji dijo que va a destruir, que la familia se va a destruir, que la tradición védica se va a destruir, que entonces nosotros entraremos en sufrimiento porque la pureza, el karma, la responsabilidad, el dharma de la familia se va a destruir. Y Arjuna dice, ¿qué vamos a hacer? Si va a morir todo, si va a morir toda la pureza de la familia. ¿Qué tipo de reinado nos va a quedar? Yo no sé qué hacer. Solo para disfrutar de este reino es de lo que está hablando Swamiji.
Okay. And then he says, Yadi mama apradikaram ashastram shastrapanaya. If to make, you know, if to make the remedy of what we are doing, if I don't use my own weapons and I'm killed by these people, even, you know, if to remedy what we are doing, the crime we are doing, if I do not, you know, if I do not use my weapons and I'm killed by the weapons of the opposite camp, Dhatrashtra Rano Hantyum Tanme Shema Taram Bhavet, then also it is better for me to get killed from the son of Dhritarashtra. It is better for me to get killed from the sons of Dhritarashtra rather than to fight and commit this huge sin that we are doing.
Entonces dice, el remedio va a ser no usar las armas y ser matados por ellos, por el campo contrario. Entonces será mejor ser matado por el hijo de Dhritarashtra, ser matado por ellos y mejor no luchar.
Sanjay Vacha. Now Sanjay is saying, after this he just kept quiet. Now Sanjay is saying, Eva Mukta Arjuna Sankhe Rathopasta Upavishat Visrijjam Sasharam Chapam Shok Sanvigna Manasa. After saying all these things, he just sat down in his chariot with, you know, and just left all his weapons in another direction, and he just sat down with this, you know, covered by this grief completely. And this is where the first chapter ends.
Entonces Arjuna se queda callado y Sanya dice, después de ver todo esto se sentó en el carro y dejó sus armas de un lado y se sentó triste con las armas en el lado opuesto. Y este es el fin del primer capítulo.
Now the second chapter starts. Okay, the first chapter is finished. The second chapter starts. What is this? What is there? Arjuna is sitting in the chariot, full of grief, refusing to fight. Okay, and just by seeing this, Krishna became very, very sad, and he started to feel love inside, and he wanted to console Arjuna, and that is why Krishna said thus. Okay,
continue, Swamiji.
So the first verse of Sankhya Yoga is this: Sanjay Vacha Tang Tatha Kripaya Vishta Asrupurna Kuleksharam Vishidantamidam Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudana. When Krishna saw Arjuna in this state, completely absorbed into grief and sadness and refusing to fight, then Lord Krishna said thus to Arjuna. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. This is the start of, this is a start where the Lord starts to speak. The Lord speaks. Kutastva kashmalam idam vishame shamupastitam anadjustam asargam akittim kara Arjuna. He said, "Oh Arjun, where from where from did you get this, darkness of your heart? Where from this darkness of, come within your heart that you refuse to fight? You become so melancholy. You become so, dejected. You are completely depressed. Where from this darkness has come to you? This darkness is not going to do any good to you because this does not befit you. As a warrior, as an Arya, this is not good for you. The Aryans are not like this. Anadya Justam. The Aryans are not like this. The Aryans don't behave like this. Why? When an Aryan comes to a battlefield, his work is to fight. He fights. He does not see what is the result of this fight. You are watching the result. You are only, you are getting attached to the results. What will happen? What will happen? But an Arya does not see the results. He comes to the battlefield and he fights, and that's it. He carries out his own responsibility. You are not willing to carry on your own responsibility, and that is why you are not behaving like an Aryan. Anadjustam. Asargam. You say that you are going to attain hell. You are saying that, if you kill your family, if you kill the people who are standing against you, you are going to go to hell. But if you don't do this fighting, if you don't engage yourself in this battle, then you are going to go to hell because you are refusing your own duty. Your duty is to fight, but you are not fighting. And because you are not doing your duty, so you are not maintaining your own dharma, you are not following your own dharma. And because you are not following your own dharma, you are not going to go to heaven, you will go to hell. Anadjustam, asargam, akirtim, akirti karam Arjuna. And Arjuna, this refusing to fight is going to bring a very bad name to you. You don't realize this. You are attached to these people whom you see in the opposite camp. This Bhishma, this Drona, they are your great grandfather. They are your teachers, and you are attached to them with affection. And because of this attachment, you don't see the truth. You don't see the truth, and because you don't see the truth, you don't want to fight. And because you don't want to fight, you are going to get a very bad name for this, because you are not, you are not following your own dharma. So this was what Krishna said, and then he said, "Klaivang mashma gama patha naita tatyupapadyate shudra hridaya dorvalyam taktatishta parantapa." Krishna was very, very particular. You see, don't behave like an unmanhood. Don't just leave this, just leave this unmanlyhood. You're not behaving like a man. You're not behaving like a brave man. You're not behaving like a true man. You are behaving like somebody who is not a man at all. Klaivang mashma gama patha. Hey, what is this? Why are you behaving like this? Like an manlyhood. You're like an unmanlyhood person. Why are you behaving like this? Naita tatyupapadyate. It does not bring good name to you. It does not befit you. You have a reputation. You are Arjuna. You are a great warrior. You are a great sage. You are a great austere. You have done a lot of sadhana, a lot of tapasya, a lot of tapa. But this one that you are showing now does not go according to your own reputation. Naita tatyupapadyate. Klaivang mashmagama patha. Naita tatyupapadyate. Shudra hridaya dorvalyam. This what you are doing is only the weakness of your small heart. You are just looking at this whole scenario with a very small heart. Becoming Arjuna, you are not looking at the whole picture. You refuse to see the whole picture. This war has not come on its own. This war has got its reason. Why these two families are in front of each other? There is a reason. There is a lot of things which has happened in the past, and now you forget them. You forget them just by seeing, Bhishma and Drona in front of you. You forget everything that has happened with you, your brothers, and your wife. You forget everything. But you don't know this war did not come on its own. It has a history. And you refuse to see this history. And that is why you are looking at this war with a very, very small-hearted perspective. Shudra Hridaya Dorbalyam. Leave this weakness of your small heart. You are looking at this, you're looking at this whole scenario with a very small heart. You should leave it. You should refuse it. Takta Tishta. Stand up. Stand up by leaving this small-heartedness. Stand up. Oh Parantapa. Oh great saint. You are a great saint. You should not behave like this. You should not behave like this. You are getting attached to these people. But you don't know that they are standing they are standing for adharma. They are standing for untruthfulness. They are standing for corruption. You refuse to see that. You only see these persons, but you don't see the cause. Why they are here? You don't see the cause. And that is why he says, oh Arjuna, you get rid of this small-heartedness and look at this actual picture, the big picture, and stand up. Oh great saint. Okay? Aditi, now you translate.
Yeah. Entonces empieza el capítulo 2, ahora empezamos el capítulo 2, en el que Arjuna está lleno de tristeza, empieza así, sentado en el carro como lo dejamos y rechazando luchar. Entonces Krishna lo mira y ve la tristeza de Arjuna y entonces siente un amor muy grande y lo quiere consolar a Arjuna. Entonces Krishna ve a Arjuna completamente absorto de tristeza, rechazando luchar, y Krishna dice, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Sri Bhagavan es Lord, es el Señor, es el absoluto, Uvacha es dice. Sri Bhagavan dice, oh Arjuna, ¿de dónde viene esta oscuridad que está en tu cabeza, que rechazas luchar y estás tan melancólico y tan depresivo? ¿De dónde viene esta tristeza? No te trae nada bueno esta tristeza. Como un guerrero ario, esta tristeza no te hace bien. Los arios no son así. Los arios, tu deber es batallar y tu deber es estar en la batalla, tu deber es ese es tu trabajo, desapegado de los resultados. Pero tú estás apegado a los resultados, estás preguntándote qué pasará esto, pasará lo otro. Y los arios no son así, tú debes coger tu responsabilidad. Todo esto que te está pasando es porque no estás cargando con tu responsabilidad, no estás cargando con tu deber, no estás cargando con lo que te pertoca. Dices que de esta forma vas a atender al cielo, pero esto no es cierto. Si tú matas, dices que si matas a la gente te va a traer desgracia y te va a traer miseria y te va a traer el infierno, pero esto no es cierto. De hecho, si tú no haces tus deberes, si no cumples con tu dharma, si no cumples con las acciones que te vienen dadas para hacer, sí que te va a caer desgracia. Tú tienes tus obligaciones, tú tienes que accionar en el propósito del dharma. Eso es lo que te va a traer el cielo, eso es lo que te va a traer la gracia. Si no lo haces, sí que estás abrazando la desgracia y el infierno. Rechazando luchar, no te das cuenta que va a venir mal nombre a ti. Estás apegado a esta gente, estás apegado al abuelo, al bisabuelo y no ves la verdad. No la estás viendo en absoluto, no estás siguiendo tu dharma. Krishna dice, no te estás comportando como un hombre, porque esta situación que está pasando tiene una historia, ¿ok? Entonces Krishna le recuerda, tú no te estás comportando como un hombre. Esto te va a traer mal nombre y te va a traer mala reputación. Tú eres un sabio, tú eres una persona austera que ha hecho mucha liberación, mucha austeridad, mucha sadhana, mucha práctica espiritual, mucha purificación, pero no te estás comportando así. Esto no te va a ayudar, va a romper con todo lo que tú vienes trabajando. Esto que haces, lo que está mostrando es una debilidad en tu corazón. porque miras a este escenario, el escenario absoluto, con un corazón pequeño, no ves la gran foto. Porque al final, eso que está pasando en la familia, esta oposición en la familia, tiene una historia, tiene un pasado, tiene una historia y la estás ignorando, tú no la estás queriendo ver. Te estás apegando a esta gente y no estás viendo lo que ha pasado con tus hermanos, no estás viendo lo que ha pasado con tus hijos, con tu mujer. Esta historia, lo que ha pasado realmente, la verdad, la está rechazando y tu corazón es pequeño ahora y es débil. Así que rechaza esta debilidad y ponte de pie. Rechaza esta debilidad y deja de estar apegado a esta gente. Porque lo que esta gente, si tú ves las consecuencias de dónde viene esta situación, sabes que esta gente está en una situación de ignorancia, de corrupción, de adharma y de no verdad, y es la causa de esto. Así que ponte de pie y libera tu corazón de la pequeñez y mira la gran foto, la gran situación. Ponte de pie.
Okay.
Ok.
So after Krishna had said this, Arjuna again says the same thing. You know, we have to see this. We all know that Krishna is God. He's God, and even Arjuna knew this, that Krishna is God. Now, when both of them went to the battlefield, and Arjuna had said everything, you know, that he is not going to fight, but Krishna was unmoved. Krishna says that this is not right. You're not saying the right thing. You know, it's not right what you're saying. You should fight. But still, Arjuna is not listening to Krishna. So what does it mean? That a human mind, you know, we are all human beings. We say that we are devotees of the Lord. Here, there is a man called Arjuna, who is not only a great fighter, he is a great saint. He is the friend of Arjuna, of Krishna. He knows Krishna very well. He knows Krishna very well, and he knows, you know, that he is the one after whom you have to go for. But when Krishna is, you know, is warning him not to do what he was doing, he cannot stop. So the mind of a human being is a very, very distracted mind. Even the Lord says the truth, even the Lord shows us the way, but we don't want to see the way. We want to go into the way that we like. We want to have our own way, but that is not the way. We have to always follow what the Guru says. We have to always follow what the Lord says. And still now we can see that Arjuna is not willing to listen to Krishna. He is again arguing. You know, when we'll see, you will see that Arjuna is again arguing with Krishna that he is not going to fight. What he says? Arjuna Vacha. Now, after Krishna said, you should not do this. You should come out of your, you know, of your small heartedness, of your tiny heartedness. You should come out, stand up and fight. That's it. You forget to see the cause of this battle. You forget to see what is, you know, what these people have done, what kind of mischief these people, what type of evil these people have done. You have forgotten all these things. Now you should come out and you should fight. While Krishna says this, Arjuna is again saying the same thing which he had been saying. He says, Katham Bhishmam Aham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubhi Pratiyotsami Pujarhar Varisudana. O Arisudana, O Krishna, how can I fight with Bhishma, my great grandfather, and Drona, my teacher, with arrows? How can I fight with them in this battle with arrows? I worship them. I worship them. I cannot fight with them. Okay, it's not possible. You know, he is only completely, you know, like his focus has completely got, you know, got fixed into this two person, Bhishma and Drona. He cannot see the other people, the other, you know, other aspects of this war. His whole focus has gone and got fixed into Bhishma and Drona. Okay, then he says, Guru na hatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum bhakshamapi haloke. Hatvartha kaman guru niheva bhunjiya bhogan rudira pradikhan. Well, it is not possible. It is not possible to kill such great, great men like my own guru. My guru is Dronacharya. I also consider Bhishma to be my guru. So, it is not possible to kill them, these great men. It is not possible. But it is easy for me, or it is better if I go and spend my life by begging for my whole life. I will beg and I will carry on my life, but I don't want to kill these great people like my guru. Okay. Why? Hatvartha kamanstu guru niheva bhunjiya bhogana rudhira prajita. For the cause for which I am going to kill my guru, my master, the cause for which I am going to kill my master, when I gain that cause, when I attain that cause, that cause is this kingdom. The cause is to regain the kingdom that they have lost. So when I get this, kingdom, and I start to enjoy that kingdom, that enjoyment will be stained by the blood of my own guru, which I cannot do. Okay. So, as he was saying all these things, that, I cannot fight. You see, I cannot fight my own guru. I cannot fight my own great grandfather, Bhishma. While he was saying all these things, because he was Arjuna, he's a great saint, he was a truthful person. So, even the nature also helps him. Something clicked within his mind. Something clicked within his mind, and he became aware that maybe somewhere he is not doing justice to Krishna. Maybe somewhere he is not doing justice to himself. Maybe somewhere he is not doing justice to this whole thing that is in front of him, this whole, war. He's not doing justice. Maybe there is something he's missing. And he should not go on, continuously like this. There should be something which has to come out. And the only way by which the truth is going to come out is when he goes and surrenders before Krishna, Lord Krishna. And that is what he did. Though he was saying that I cannot fight my guru, I cannot fight my great grandfather, though he was saying all these things, ultimately he fell down in the feet of Lord Krishna and surrendered himself and prayed to be guided in the right path. He said, Karpanna dosha apahata swabhava pritchami tvam dharma sangmura cheta yashreyasannishchitam bruhitan me shishyaste sadhimam tvam prapanyam. He says, Karpanya dosha apahata swabhava. Karpanya. Karpanya means a person who has forgotten the purpose of his life. A person who has forgotten the very essence of his life is called Karpanya. He says, my nature, my true nature has been, hypnotized with this Karpanya dosha, with this, that I'm completely deluded. My true nature is completely deluded by not knowing what is the purpose of my life, what is the purpose of my doing duties. Karpanya dosha apahata swabhava pritchami tvam dharma sangmura cheta. And thus I am asking you with folded hands, because I am completely deluded about my own duties. I don't know what I should do and what I should not do. And that is why I am asking you with folded hands. Please tell me. What should you tell me? Yashreyasannishchitam bruhitan me. Please say me. Please tell me. What is that by which I am going to attain? I am going to attain magnificence. What is that by which I am going to attain that which is preferred of me? What is that? You tell me. How can I walk into the path of the preferred, that I will get the actual benefit of the path? You tell me. Yashreyasyanishchitam bruhitan me. Here Arjuna is also, Arjuna through Bhagavad Gita is also teaching us how we should pray. When we pray to God, what do we say? God give me this, God give me that. If I don't have money, I will say, God give me money. If I don't have, enjoyment in my life, I will say, God give me enjoyment. Whatever I don't have, I will ask God, God give me that. But I don't think whether this will do good to me or not. We see things from God, but we don't know whether this is going to do good to me or not. I need money. Money came and it destroyed my family. So though I needed money and the money came, but it did not do good to me. So Arjuna is saying, please tell me that by which I will attain my goodness, by which I will attain my superior path, my preferred path. So we should also pray to God in this way, that God, you give me that by which I can walk in my preferred path. Please give me that which will do good to me. Don't give me this or that. Give me that which is going to do good to me. So that is what, Arjuna is also teaching us. Yashreyasyanishchitam bruhitan me shishyaste hamsadhima tvam prapanyam. I am your disciple. I surrender before you. I surrender before you. Please tell me what to do and what not to. In which way I should move, and by which way I will be benefited. You guide me into that path. After this, he had said two more slokas, which is not so important. But after he said this, Sanjay, Sanjay was watching from this, from a neutral position. Sanjay said, Eva mukto rishikesham gurakesha tar parantapa. When, Arjuna, after he said this to Rishikesh, after he said this to Krishna, what happened? Na yotsa iti govindam uktva tushtim bahubaho. When after saying this, he said, I cannot fight till you tell me what to do and what not to, how to move and which way to move and which way not to move. Till you tell me, I cannot fight. Okay? Then he said, Tamu vacha rishikesha prahassanniva bharata. When Krishna saw this state of Arjuna, completely broken, Arjuna is such a brave person, such a courageous man, such a brave man, such a strong man. And now he sees Arjuna completely broken, crying in grief. And that is why Krishna was very, he was mad at Arjuna. He was very, very mad. He was very angry at Arjuna. Tamu vacha rishikesham prahassanniva bharata. Prahasan means Krishna is mad at him, and he is, now what he's saying is saying it with a little bit of anger. Senayo ubhayar madhyer vishidantam idam bravit. This person who is completely absorbed in grief between these two armies. The person who is completely absorbed in grief between these two armies, to this person, Krishna is saying thus. Okay? Aditi, do you want to translate? Because now the real Bhagavad Gita is going to begin. আপনাদের ভালো লাগছে? এটা তো ট্রান্সলেশন আমি জানতাম না, ট্রান্সলেশন করে পড়াবে।
Ok, entonces traduzco porque luego lo que viene ahora es que el verdadero Bhagavad Gita va a empezar. Sabemos que Krishna es Dios, entonces tenemos a Arjuna que no dice que no va a luchar y Krishna le dice, lo que dices no es correcto, debes luchar, pero aún así Arjuna no escucha a Krishna. Entonces lo que estamos viendo es que Arjuna en realidad es un hombre santo un hombre que abraza la verdad y un hombre que conoce bien a Krishna. Krishna y Arjuna se presentan en el escenario como amigos, entonces se conocen bien mutuamente, son íntimos. Y muestra la naturaleza de la mente humana, porque aunque Krishna, que representa a Dios, le dice que no lo que lo hagas, que luches, Arjuna, el movimiento de su mente no lo puede parar. Muestra cómo es la mente humana distraída, que no puede ver la verdad y que se pierden las formas y que pierde el camino. Así que muestra este deseo de seguir el camino del gurú, pero aún así cuando la verdad se le muestra no lo sigue. Así que todavía Arjuna dice no quiero luchar. Y Krishna le dice ponte de pie y lucha. Olvídate de esta gente, tu deber es luchar. Y Arjuna dice no puedo luchar. Ahí están mi abuelo y está mi maestro. Se centran estas dos personas. Yo los adoro, para mí no es posible matarles. Y Arjuna sigue con la mente fijada en ellos dos. No veía los otros aspectos de la guerra y de la situación. Y dice, ¿cómo es posible para mí matar a este gran hombre? ¿Es mejor para mí morir o vivir vagando, vivir como un vagabundo el resto de mi vida? Porque no quiero matar a esta gente. Porque ¿cuál va a ser la causa de matar a mi maestro y tener un reino y disfrutar de un reino lleno de sangre? Yo no voy a disfrutar este reino lleno de sangre. Yo no voy a luchar. Y de nuevo se nos recuerda la naturaleza verdadera y pura de Arjuna, pero en esto nos está dando cuenta de la verdadera justicia de la situación. Él igual se da cuenta que se está perdiendo algo. No quiere la situación, pero se da cuenta que hay algo que no está captando de la situación y quiere que la verdad salga a la luz. Y cuando eso sucede, se rinde a los pies de Krishna. Arjuna cae a los pies de Krishna y le pide ser guiado de la forma correcta. Y entonces viene este cantito que Swamiji nos hacía. Dice, como una persona que ha olvidado su propósito, la esencia de la vida, su verdadera naturaleza, como una persona ha sido hipnotizada por no saber sus propósitos y sus deberes, le pregunta, le dice a ti, guíame, le dice a Krishna. Confundido porque no sabe cuáles son sus obligaciones, le dice, por favor, dime, vengo a ti, por favor, dime cuál es el camino de la magnificencia, cuál es el mejor camino, qué puedo hacer como más beneficioso, qué es lo preferido. Y aquí aquí Arjuna nos muestra la forma de rezar. En el Gita, Arjuna nos está mostrando la forma de rezarle a Dios, de relacionarnos con Dios, porque muchas veces la forma de rezar es Dios dame esto, Dios dame lo otro, Dios dame dinero, dame de lo que disfrutar, pero ¿cómo vas a pedir por algo si no sabes qué es lo bueno para ti o lo no bueno para ti? Si no lo sabes, si tú pides mucho dinero y ese dinero va a venir y va a destruir a la familia, por ejemplo, o vas a pedir una situación y esa situación no va a traer nada bueno, esa no es la forma. Así que aquí Arjuna está encomendándose, está relacionándose desde su bondad, desde que les ha mostrado el mejor camino, la mejor forma. En vez de decir, dame eso, se pone a los pies de Krishna y le pide que le muestre lo mejor y que le dé, que le haga llegar lo que sea mejor para mí, lo que sea mejor. Así que no va como un discípulo, va como que me rindo a ti, para que me muestres qué es lo mejor, cuál es el camino. Y después de decir esto, Sanya, que es el orador neutro del escenario, explica lo que está pasando. Explica cómo Krishna ve a Arjuna, después que Arjuna se ha ido a sus pies, pidiéndole que le muestre cuál es el mejor camino. Ve a Krishna, Krishna ve a Arjuna totalmente roto. Krishna se conmueve porque Arjuna es un ser muy valiente y muy fuerte. Es un guerrero muy, muy, muy bravo, pero en ese momento Arjuna, este guerrero bravo y noble, está totalmente roto y lleno de tristeza. Y Krishna está enfadado al ver a Arjuna totalmente absorto por esta tristeza en medio de estas dos armadas, perdiendo totalmente la visión total de la situación. Y aquí sigue. Ok, Swamiji.
Okay, the Bhagavad Gita starts here. Okay, so Krishna says, Ashochanavashocastvam pragya vadangscha bhasase gata suna agata sunascha nanu shochanti panditaha. First of all, he wanted to make Arjuna aware about what he is doing, what wrong he is doing. Arjuna was in grief. He was in completely grief. Why? Because he thought that his relatives are going to die. But he don't realize that these relatives whom he says are relatives are just the bodies. The person who is residing in the body is not the body. It is the soul, the self, which does not die. So Arjuna's grief is not real, because Arjuna thinks that he is going to lose everybody. But the fact is that nobody is dead. Nobody dies. Because the body is born and the body is dead. The person residing inside the body is immortal. He is neither born nor he is dead. And that is what Krishna is trying to, elaborate in these three slokas that is going to follow. The first one is Ashochanava shochastvam pragya vadangscha bhasase. You are grieving for something which you should not. You are grieving for the cause for which it is not suitable at all to be grieved. And while doing this, you are talking like a knowledgeable person. You are talking like a scholar. But while you are talking like a scholar, you are doing exactly that which a scholar should not do. You are doing exactly what an enlightened soul does not do, because the enlightened soul does not grieve for somebody who is alive or who is dead. Gata suna agata sunascha. A person who is already dead and the person who is in life. A real enlightened soul, a real wise man does not grieve, because he knows that this person is never going to die, because the death only comes to the body. It does not come to the soul. And we all are souls. And in the next verse, it is a little bit more clear. He says, Nate vaham jatu nasam natam neme janadhipa. Na chaiva na bhavishyama bayam sarve bayam atah param. He says that neither you nor me or these people or these kings who are present here in this battlefield, it had never happened that we were not here. We were already here. Like when we say that we were already here, I know that I have a birth, and before my birth I was not present in this world. Okay, I came to this world after I was born, and I will go out of this world the day I am dead. But Krishna says that there was no time when I was not here. I was always here. And not only me, you were always here. And all these people whom you see here as the kings, they were also present here. Nate vaham jadunasam natam neme janadipaha. You, me, and all these kings who are present in this battlefield, we were all present here before we were born. Even before our bodies came into this world, we were here. And na chaiva na bhavishyama sarve atah param. And this will also not happen, that there will be a time where we will cease to exist. There will be no time like this when we are not going to exist. That means, I know that after my death, I am not going to exist. But this death is the death of this body. My body is going to die, but I am not going to die after my death. I will stay. My soul will reside. My soul will be here because it was here before my birth and it will be here after my death. So if I grieve for somebody else, when does grief happen? Grief happens only when I lose something. I lose somebody. Krishna is saying there is no way that you are going to lose anybody because nobody is dead. Nobody goes out of the system. Everybody is here. Nate vaham jatunasam natam neme janadhipa nachaiva na bhavishyama sarve bayam atah param. There was no time where we were not, where we were not present here. We were always present here. And there will be no time where we will not exist. We will always exist here. So your conception of death is not right. Your conception of death is false because there is no death at all. Nobody dies. So you're not going to lose your great grandfather. You're not going to lose your teacher. You are imposing your teacher into this body, and this is your problem. You're imposing that your teacher is that body. You are imposing that this great grandfather is this body, and that is where your problem starts. And that is why in the next verse Krishna says the same thing, Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram jauvanam jara tatha dehantar prapti dhiras tatra namujjati. What did it say? That this body, it grows. It was child. At one point it was a child. Then it grew, then it grew and it became youth. Then it became a middle-aged man. And then it became an old-aged man. And after some time, he will leave this body and he will regain another body, which you say death. Okay. But this person who is residing within this body, he never changes. The changes occurs only in the body. The body is child, the body becomes youth, the body becomes middle-aged, the body becomes old-aged, the body is dead, and the body, and the body is dead. But the man who is residing inside the body, he does not change at all. He is the same. He is the soul. And when the body dies, he partakes another body and is again born. So we don't lose anybody. Okay. So these are the three shlokas that Bhagavad Gita starts, and in our next class we will continue from here.
Entonces el Gita empieza aquí. Cuando quiere hacer ver a Arjuna que está mal, enfocado, que no está viendo las cosas correctamente. Arjuna piensa que su familia va a morir y no ve que su familia no es solo el cuerpo, que lo que realmente reside en el corazón de ellos, que son el alma, que no son solo el cuerpo, y que el yo no es el que muere. Entonces Arjuna piensa que va a perder todo, pero no está viendo la verdad de que nada muere, de que la verdadera naturaleza no puede ser cambiada, de que este cuerpo nace y muere, pero la persona no muere. El ser, el alma, es inmortal. El cuerpo es el que se es transformado. Entonces Krishna trata en estos 3 shlokas siguientes de elaborar esto y de transmitirle esto a Arjuna. Y le dice, tú estás sufriendo por una causa que no es motivo de sufrimiento. Hablas como un ignorante, como un escolar, y haces lo que un aprendiz no debe hacer. Si tú realmente estuvieras realizado, no verías la vida o la muerte. Un ser realizado no ve que hay vida o hay muerte. Un verdadero sabio ve que lo que es nunca muere, que la persona, que el ser nunca muere. El cuerpo muere, pero el alma no. El gran ser, el alma no muere. Entonces Krishna le dice que aunque tú, yo, esta gente, todos estos reyes estemos aquí y ahora, aunque haya nacimiento y aunque luego haya una muerte y otro nacimiento, la verdad es que nunca nos hemos ido, siempre hemos estado aquí, incluso antes de que el cuerpo naciera, ya estábamos aquí. Siempre hemos estado aquí. Así que más allá de esta batalla, todos siempre han estado. El cuerpo ha nacido, pero tú siempre has estado ahí. El cuerpo deja de existir con el tiempo, pero tú existes todo el tiempo. Hay muerte para el cuerpo, pero no hay muerte para lo que tú eres. Así que Arjuna está enfocado en la pérdida de la gente y Krishna le dice que no hay forma de perder a nadie. Siempre ha estado todo aquí. Más allá del tiempo, siempre has estado aquí. El tiempo cambia las cosas, pero la existencia siempre está. Así que tu concepto de muerte es el erróneo porque no tienes el concepto de muerte correcto. La muerte que tú ves del cuerpo no es absoluta. Nadie muere, no puedes morir porque siempre has estado. Tú impones la forma de un cuerpo a tu profesor. Tú impones que tu profesor, que tu maestro es el cuerpo. Tú impones que tu abuelo es el cuerpo. Pero eso no es la verdad. Por eso sufres. Aquí el problema empieza cuando tú impones esa imposición que son el cuerpo. Y Krishna le dice, este cuerpo crece desde bebé a mediana edad y de mediana edad se hace mayor y luego viene la transformación para el cuerpo, se deja el cuerpo y luego viene otro cuerpo. Entonces el cuerpo es transformado con la edad, crece con la edad, el cuerpo muere, se transforma y luego nace otro cuerpo, pero la persona que hay ahí, el ser que hay ahí, el alma, siempre es la misma. El alma es eterna, no hay muerte para el alma.